Alright, welcome through the winners final of Fleur-de-lis, and we got Beastie QT on the Ottomans, the yellow trunks. It's up against Chrysaor in the pink trunks, purple trunks, sorry, going colorblind. Purple trunks on the English. So it should be a hell of a match. It always is when we've got Beastie QT here. But Chrysaor, not actually putting the mill right next to the berries, wants to go for the fast farm placement. He wants to go for the most efficient queue up of wheelbarrow that he can. We're really getting cutting edge these days, guys. So he's using a build that's probably Beasties against Beastie. The Beastie in the meanwhile in the house. And this is really nice for him. The stone and the gold right next to each other. As you can see, Chrysaor doesn't have such luck. And this is really good for Ottoman because their military skills that train units for free do take stone. So this is going to be especially useful for an Ottoman player. Or for someone that would be looking to try and play a quick second town centre into English, like Chinese or maybe French. So, map luck. Better player, map luck OP. Experienced player, map luck OP. So Beastie didn't need to bring the sheep all the way back, as you can see. And they have to drop off about there. So, this old dog knows all the tricks with getting the fastest eco possible. So that wheelbarrow, Chrysaor finishing it up just about now. Well, Twin Minaret Madris being built right next to the town centre. And I suppose you go, oh well, why wouldn't you put it next to the berries? Well, I mean, it's going to produce enough free berries that Beastie, if he always is gathering some berries on it and has some villages on the sheep, he can prolong the amount of usefulness he gets out of both of them, you know, rather than saturating one than the other. And on top of that, it does save him a lot of walk time as well. And Beastie is the king of saving walk time in your builds. The Chrysaor off the council hall. Pretty standard for the English. You almost never see the King's Abbey. Why? Well, that's because it's fucking useless. So Twin Minaret being started earlier, Beastie really only needs 3 villages on it, and he's still going to finish it faster than the council hall. He's getting a lot of stone. I wonder whether he is going for a second town centre or whether he's going to go for double military buildings. But bearing in mind with the military buildings, you sort of want to have the blacksmith down so you can produce out of them. I think it's 33% quicker. Or is it 66 out of the military buildings and 33 out of the H3 landmark that can produce siege for free, I think. I haven't played a huge amount of Ottomans, but that's sort of my knowledge of it. But this is going to be nice. You're going to get berry bushes that are actually going to gather quicker than a regular food source, so Beastie's actually going to go for them to start with, as well as really ramp up his stone gathering. Still just producing wood gatherers for the moment, while Chrysaor, I think he's mostly just getting the wood and the food. Not really worrying about stone, so he's not going for a quick second town centre or anything. Realising he's probably safe at home, so he actually just cancels the defensive tower. And on top of that, I think you probably need to squeeze in a house quickly there. The Beastie's taking advantage of the quicker gathering that the Madrid offers as well. He's going to go for a second town centre. Because he's already on the stone, he's going to have no trouble adding the military skills. I just want to have a quick look to see. Our Beastie hasn't actually unlocked anything just yet in his Vizier tree. Interested to see what his choices are going to be here. Playing this really greedy. Well, Chrysio might have to go on for a quick castle. He is going to now go for the defensive outpost there as well. But considering that gold to food to wood income, I think he might just be trying to barrel towards Castle Age at the moment. Beastie's getting a lot of stone. Is he going to go for a third TC here? That's really greedy if he is. But I suppose there's no pressure being put on him from Chrysio at the moment. Alright, so extra 8 sheep and improved mining speed here for Beastie, so he's going to go for the military skills. Ah, that's right. It scales with age, the military unit production rate. Improvement by the blacksmith. He's going to have one of those now. So Chrysio, King's Palace on the way, so that'll give him a second town centre. Well, Beastie going to be in feudal age for a little while, but he'll be producing just a handful of free units. He'll be making Sipahi. So he gets a little bit of free raiding presence with those. Working towards that quick castle age, I imagine. Been a very passive opening by our players. Come on guys, a quick game's a good game. And longbow production now being started by Chrysio, but they are going to run headlong into Sipahi, who are going to be the best early game counter against them. And I believe Sipahi are actually better against archers and bowmen than regular horsemen are. Like, they're even worse against other against infantry and other cavalry, but I think they're even better against ranged than the regular horseman counter ranged unit. Obviously they're not as good as knights, and then they're even worse against knights than horsemen are. But fortitude is nice, because if you pop that against a mostly ranged engagement for them, it's basically no downside and an improvement for them. Because it gives them attack speed at the cost of melee armor, but not at the cost of ranged armor. It's smarter Beastie to go back and finish that piece. He's really walled himself in for a nice safe age 3, while Chrysaor, that age 3 with the King's Palace is already finished up. The Knights hitting the field are going to mean a slight rating advantage for Chrysaor, but it's, again, already really been nullified by the walls. Now Chrysaor has to try and find sort of a spot to start chipping away at, force Beastie to come outside the walls. Maybe look at trying to sit on top of as many relics as possible. Imperial Armory, not far away. That's going to mean free siege engines for our Ottoman player. So spears being produced instead of the Sipahi for the moment, but there might be some more Sipahi production to follow this up, considering there is more, well, there is some longbows there for Chrysaor. Working away at Beastie's gate, trying to wall up his own side of the map. Beastie gonna try and take the fight if he can. Spears gonna be very difficult for the Knights to deal with. But the Sipahi are gonna focus on the longbows if they can. So Chrysaor having to back off momentarily, trying to turn around and take an engagement, but again, spears to Knights is not a great trade. Especially when the Ottoman player is actually producing these units for free at the moment. There's 3 military schools there for Beastie, so I mean, look at his Vizier tree. It's gone Anatolian Hills and Military Campus. So now he has triple military school production, and the Mehmed Imperial Armory. 2/3 finished there, less than a minute to go, and he'll have a free mangonel. So our English player needs to find a chink in the armor of our Ottoman player here. Unless this fairly, I guess, boomy opening for the Ottoman player really starts to put him ahead, because I mean right now he's even in terms of army size, and he's really only actually started producing out of 1 military building of his own that's not a free unit source. Longbow's actually being caught out by spears there. So this is not really the engagement Chrysaor wants to take, because the longbow's are going to have to get behind something melee, but Knights can't really block for them against the spears. Especially with the meta there. Gives a little bit of increased attack speed or movement. Yeah, increased attack speed. And can even be tasked to give increased armors. Beastie lucky. Chrysaor not able to finish the job there with one last shot from one of the longbows. This villager count's starting to really creep up ahead of Chrysaor's at the moment, who's on 2 TC, but Beastie's been on 2 TC a lot longer. And so he's not having as many issues with continually gathering and spending and making sure he can keep that 2 TC production as well as keep army production up. Beastie sending a single spear just up to protect the gold mine. massed up enough of an army now. I think he can comfortably push. He's got a bit of an army size advantage over Chrysler. Still plenty of spears in the mix, but he has plenty of knights as well. Oh, and a second mangonel just about to finish up. That single spear must have seen those villagers. So there's some knights on the way. Beastie gonna go for an aggressive keep here. And I think it'll really be worth it because he's gonna keep Chrysler busy over here. Just on the edge of his base. That outpost doesn't have any upgrades on it at the moment. Mangonel taking aim. The archers, the longbows, keeping mobile. Beastie's got enough of a front line to shadow for the mangonel. It is going to get picked off, but when it will miss that shot. So some good control there from Chrysler. But now there's more backup melee to come in, and there's not enough here to defend Chrysler's back line. So his longbows have to retreat. Beastie has got ranged armor and melee armor already. Well, there's no upgrades yet for Chrysler, so he needs to look at catching up on them at the moment, adding some more production. And he does have that blacksmith, but he hasn't really been able to make use of it yet. We've pushed off another gold mine. He really needs to get on top of this one if he can. Well, Beastie gonna try and deny this rear gold mine. If he can do so, it's going to be killer for Chrysler. I think he's going to do just that. Monk trying to take the relic back, but don't know if he's going to get out in time. Mangonel's still not able to make the best of shots on that long bowman ball, but if it can land one, it'll be great. Oh, the monk is going to get singled out here by a Beastie. Very smart. Does snipe the monk. So it does force his opponent to have to add another one. So it's another 100 gold, 150 gold. But the relic's going to have to pay off before it actually starts being, you know, creating value for you. So Beastie, meanwhile, pushing forward, going to grab Sacreds, and oh, that's a nice shot with the mangonel. Chrysler sticking around a little bit too long there. And another, and with that, Chrysler having to tap out for game number 1.